Welcome back to the channel. My name is Bondo, and today we're going to check out one of my favorite songs to play live. This is a classic 90s alternative favorite. The song we're talking about today is No Rain by the band Blind Melon. While this song is credited to the whole band, and while I thought that Shannon Hoon wrote the lyrics for it, the bassist Brad Smith actually wrote the song No Rain. The guitar parts were played by Roger Stevens and Christopher Thorne. Roger Stevens played the lead guitar part. That's the part we're going to be focusing on today. So this isn't a note-for-note lesson. It's not necessarily a tone chase. This is how I approach this song when I play it live. For me, this song teaches you something real fast when you play it live. If something's not right, the whole thing just feels stiff. I think probably one of the most important parts if you're playing this on a Strat guitar or a Gibson Les Paul, a humbucker, or a single coil, you want to use the neck pickup. This is my 2019 Gibson Les Paul 50 standard gold top with the P90s. That's single coil pickup, so that ought to do the job here. The hard part of this song isn't in the notes. It's to resist the urge to rush. Your right hand kind of has to stay relaxed and just let the dynamics do the work. So if when you're practicing this, if it feels boring, you're probably doing it right. Song No Rain is one of those songs that sounds really simple to play, but if the feel isn't right, it totally falls apart. There's not a lot going on. The drummer's kind of just playing brushes and a hi-hat. There's an acoustic guitar playing chords, and there's a lead electric guitar playing a melody. There are some interviews I've seen and read with Roger Stevens where he talks about how he came up with this part, focusing on melody. There's nothing really flashy going on here. It's just very simple, kind of lullaby. The guitar part in this song isn't really trying to impress anyone. If you overdo this even a little bit, it stops feeling good immediately. So tone-wise, I'm not chasing how the record sounds. I'm just looking for something clean, stays even, and doesn't really jump out when I dig in. Just kind of sits in the mix right. Again, neck pickup, low gain, nothing dramatic. And any effect you add after here should disappear unless you're listening for it. If you notice the effect, it may be too much. I've got a lot of chorus on mine. I like the chorus and the delay on here. We've got a little bit of reverb, some EQ, touch of tremolo. For my setup for the Tone Master Pro, I like to run 2 amps. We've got the 65 Deluxe Reverb Blonde amp only, volume at about 6. Always keep the amp levels pretty high, and I do a lot of settings in the I/O and the mixer to kind of combat anything that's too loud. Got the treble a little over 5, bass at 6. Then for our JCM 800 setting, got the gain, they're about 31. Master probably about 80. You can see for yourself. As long as you get in that ballpark, you'll be all right. Using a SM57 there. Let's go back to our blonde here so you can check out the mic on that one. It's SM57s across the board. The reason I'm using the JCM 800, it's an amp that I use in a lot of the sounds, and I try to keep the sounds pretty consistent throughout the set. So while we're not really pushing the amp that hard, you can get a pretty alright clean tone out of it. Plus, you want to have a little bit of dirt for this song for when you get to the solo. You want to be able to dig in and hear that. 10-band graphic EQ, just little subtle things to kind of sit in the mix. There's no gain added. The analog stereo chorus with a low rate. As if you listen to the recording, especially if you have like studio monitors where you can kind of separate the left and the right pretty well, there's a weird kind of warbling sound you can hear in the intro. At least I think it's there. We have the Fender small hall reverb. The level's set kind of low on this. Not a very quick decay. Doesn't hang out long with the dwell. Not very fast. Doesn't diffuse. Not a lot of depth. A little bit of high and low cut. And for the delay, we've got them set here 16th and 8th triplet. A tube bias tremolo. It's not very fast. Again, If you notice the effect too much, then it's probably too much. Now when we have that dotted quarter notes, a slow dotted quarter note, not very intense, not very loud, just kind of sits there. You barely notice it. We've got our Sapphire drive set with moderately low gain. Sometimes we'll kick that on for the solo. And a volume pedal. I like to have the volume pedal in case it's a little hot. We've got a JCM 800 in the mix with a little bit of gain to it, so it might be a little overwhelming. Here we've got the signal split a couple ways. We'll look at that real quick. I just turn the level all the way up and pan them hard left and right. And then when it comes out the other side, again, we crank the level, and then I'm just 15% each way, left and right.